Hello everyone. So here I am with the answers for chapter 1 lesson 2 homework. So we'll be discussing each and every question very carefully and in detail wherever it's needed. So if you have any problems or any doubts, hopefully it will be cleared by with the time you watch this video. Okay, so if you have any doubts after that also you can ask me. But let's start by checking the homework. So let's start with question number 1. You know all how to solve these questions now, right? You have to do the opposite. If the equation says minus, you have to add. If the equation says add, you have to minus. So g minus 7 equals 15 will become g equals 15 plus 7, because the negative 7 will become plus 7. So that's going to give you g equals 22. Now for checking, you have to replace the g with the value which we found. So we found 22 minus 7 equals 15, equals 7, and the other side of the equation has 15. So which means 22 minus 7 is 15. So the other side also has 15, which means the answer we got for g equals 22 is correct. This is for question number 2. Now it is a plus 4, so we have to isolate. We have to keep t alone and move the 4 to the other side. That will become t equals 6 minus 4. So 6 minus 4 equals 2. Again, for checking, you replace the t with 2. So 2 plus 4 gives you 6. So 6 is on this side as well as on the other side of the equation. Now these are very simple questions. That's why I'm not explaining in detail, because we have done already enough in detail. If anyone still has not watched or has doubt, you can click the I above to watch the previous videos. Okay, so 13 equals m minus 7. So we move the 7 to the other side with the number. That will become 13 plus 7 equals m. Even if you write m equals 13 plus 7, it doesn't matter. Or m equals 7 plus 13, it's going to be the same. So that's going to give you 20 equals m. So for checking, we have 13 on this side and we replace 20 with m. So 20 minus 7 will give you 13. So this side also has 13, that side also has 13. Now this one is a decimal question, so you have to align or write the decimals right under each other when you're solving. X equals 9.1 minus 3.5, so that has to give you an answer of 5.7. How did we get 5.7? You should do these mentally. You don't need to even write on paper and do it. It's going to be 1 minus 4. So we cannot do 1 minus 4. So we borrow 1 from 9. So 9 becomes 8 and 1 becomes 11. 11 minus 4 is 7. And then 8 minus 3 will give you 5. So 5.7. For checking, you will follow the same table. X plus 3.4 equals 9.5. Replace the x with 5.7 and 3.4. Add them. 7 plus 4 will give you 11. So 1 down, carry 1. 1 plus 5 is 6 plus 3 is 9. So that will give you a 9.1. Okay, now this is a fractional question. We have 9, n minus 3 over 8 equals 1 over 8, which means you know that the negative 3 over 8 will go to the other side. That will become a positive one. So n equals 4 over 8, right? Now, as you know, we cannot leave the numbers like that without the simplest form. So to find the simplest form, you have to divide it with a number which you can divide both the numerator and the denominator. So you can also divide with 2, but if you divide with 2, you have to divide it with 2 again. So find the biggest number, largest number with which you can divide both the numerator and the denominator. So that largest number is 4. So we divide, so n is equal to half. That is going to be the answer. But if you remember, in one of the videos I told, when you are checking, leave the answer, take the answer without simplifying. So without simplifying, if you take, it's going to be much easier for checking. So without simplifying, the answer was 4 over 8 minus 3 over 8. So that will give you 4 minus 3 is 1 over 8. Even if you take the simplified answer, half is okay, but then you have to change the half back to 4 over 8 by multiplying with 2 to make them equal. Okay, so that's how you find the answers. So let's go back to the next question. That is again a similar one. P minus 1 over 3 equals 2 over 3, which means P equals 2 over 3 plus 1 over 3, right? Minus 1 over 3 will become plus 1 over 3. So this will give you 3 over 3. As well, we have discussed if the numerator and the denominator are same, that means it gives you a complete number, complete one, that is one whole. In the previous video also I have explained you through pictures how does that become one whole. So if the numerator and denominator are same, that becomes one whole. Now for checking, I told you don't use the whole number, use the one before simplifying. So p was 3 over 3, so 3 minus 1 will give you 2 over 3, also 2 over 3 on this side, which means p equals 1 is the correct answer. If you want to replace 3 over 3 with 1, it's fine, but then again you will have to bring back the fraction. So 1 changed into a fraction will give you 3 over 3. That's why I told you, only for checking, keep it without simplifying. Okay, let's see. Now this is again an integer one. So k equals 32 plus 6, minus 6 will become plus 6. K equals 38. So 38, if you're solving, that will give you minus 6 plus k equals 32. So we replace k with 38. Minus 6 plus 38. So here they have two different signs. So the integer rule was when you have two different signs, you have to subtract. So I will subtract 38 from 6. 38 minus 6 will give you 32, and we keep the positive sign as 38 is bigger and it has the positive sign. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Now these are also quite easy. All what you need to do is move positive 9.3 to the other side. So that will become 7 minus 9.3. But the rule stays the same. As you know, here there is no sign, means it's a plus sign. So we minus, because it's plus and minus. So the rule is we subtract both the numbers. 9.3 minus 7. So 7 means it's a 7.0, right? So that will give you 2.3. But with the negative sign, why? Because 9.3 is bigger. So with the negative sign, it's going to be 2.3. Now, how do we check? Replace the W with negative 2.3. Now the rule stays the same. If a negative number and a positive number, we subtract the numbers. So 9.3 minus 2.3 will give you 7, 7.0, right? If you write here 2.3 and subtract 3 minus 3 will be 0, 9 minus 2 will be 7, so that will give you 7. Both sides have 7. How did it become a positive 7? Because 9.3 is positive, so it became positive as well. Okay, moving on to the next question. This is a very simple question. 8 minus 12 will give you R. You can even write as R equals 8 minus 12, no problem. So that will give you a negative 4. Again, you have plus and minus. So you subtract 12 minus 8 will give you 4, but we keep the negative sign as the negative sign belongs to 12 and 12 is greater. So if we're checking, we have 8 equals R plus 12. So we replace the R with negative 4. Again, the rule stays the same for integers. When you have one negative and one positive, you subtract them, right? So 12 minus 4 will give you 8, but with the positive sign, as 12 is greater and has the positive sign. Now, these must be very easy, right? Negative 40 minus 57 will become plus 57. If you have memorized the integer rules, or if you have understood the integer rules, you will never go wrong when you are when you're solving equations. So this is going to give you again 17. 57 minus 14 will give you 17. For checking, we have 17 minus 57 is equal to negative 40. That should give us a negative 40. So the rule is minus then. So 57 minus 17 will give you 40. And the negative sign stays the same as the negative sign belongs to the greater number, that's negative 57. So in the answer, it should be negative as well. Okay, now again, it's a similar question. It's going to be minus 7.1 plus 5.1. Again, both the signs are different, so you will subtract them. That will give you a 2, because 1 minus 1 is 0 and 7 minus 5 will give you a 2. If you cannot solve it mentally, you can write it beside 7.1 and then 5.1, align the number decimals and then subtract it. Now, why did we put the negative sign here? Because 7.1 is greater and has the negative sign. Now for checking, you will replace the b with negative 2. All right, so negative 5.1, negative 2. So both of them are negative. So what's the rule if both the integers are negative? Rule is add them, right? So we are going to add 5.1 plus 2. So that's going to give you 7.1, and then keep the negative signs the same as both of them have negative numbers. Okay, now this one is super easy. A is equal to 15 minus 15. A is equal to 0. So 0 plus 15 will give you 15. 15 equals 15. Okay, now all what I want you to do is concentrate on this part of the homework, which is all about problem solving. Marietta was given a raise of 0.75 an hour. Raise means her salary or the money which she was earning was more, given raise. They increased it $0.75 an hour, which brought her hourly wage to 12.25. Now, after the increase, it became 12.25. Write and solve an equation to determine Marietta's hourly wage before her raise. So they want to know the wage before they raised. So what are we going to do? She was getting some money. Then they gave 0.75, then it came to 12.25. So let's see how we can solve this. This is the wage. You can use any variable you want to, because they are asking for the wage. I use W. So this was her old wage, which she was getting before. They increased it by 0.75. Then she got 12.25. Now, hopefully, if you write this equation correct, you can get the answer right. The 12.25 minus 0.75, that will give you 11.50, right? If you solve it properly, you decide by aligning the decimals correctly under each other, you will get 11.50. So wage before the raise was $11.50. You have to be very careful when you're subtracting decimals. Okay, now if you think still that how did she get 11.50, let me show you. All right, so let's see how we got the answer. So as I told you, you have to align the numbers properly. So that's going to be 12.25. Okay, so that's going to be 12.25 minus 0.75. So we have to align the numbers properly and then we will solve it. So first write 12.25 and then 0.75. Make sure you put the decimal right under each other first. So we have a 0 before the decimal and then 75 after the decimal. Now we are going to subtract this. 5 minus 5 will give you a 0. 2 you cannot subtract, so you will borrow from the 2. That will become a 1 and this will become a 12. So 12 minus 7 is going to give you 5. Then don't forget the decimal right under it. Then this is basically 11 minus 0, which will give you an 11. So this is how you solve decimal. If you write the decimal points right under each other, your answer will be correct. Okay, so this I just wanted to show you how do you solve decimal questions. That's all. So let's move on to the next problem solving. Brad grew 4 1/4 inches this year. So he has grown 4 1/4 inches, means he became more taller, and is now 56.7/8 inches tall. So this time he has grown 4 1/4. Then after the growth, he became 56.7/8. Write and solve an equation to find Brad's height at the start of the year. So we have to, of course, he was of some height, then he grew 4 1/4. So grew means, are you going to add or subtract? You are going to add 4 1/4. Then he became 56.7/8. So this is going to be your equation. Now hold on, this is going to be a little bit a lengthy one because there are different kinds of fractions. So let me show you how do you solve this. Okay, so if you have solved it, the answer has to be 52.5/8. This is how you're going to do it. 56.7/8 minus 4 1/4, that will give you 52.5/8. Let me show you the steps how it is done. Okay, so this was the question we have to do. 56.7/8 minus 4 1/4. Now the perfect way of doing it is that we have to change this into mixed numbers. Now by mixed you have to change them into improper fractions. Now the perfect way of doing it is multiply 8 by 56 and then add 7 and then do the same here. 4 4s are 16 plus 1 is 17/4. That's the perfect way of doing it. But here I will show you something which you can do, but this is only applicable at some times, not always. as you can see, 7 over 8, okay, and 1 over 4, the denominators are different. So I want to solve this 2 first. Now that's because here the numerator number is a greater one. That's why I'm showing this way. Else you have to do it the other way. So first let me show you by doing the proper way. 8 multiplied by 56. So 8 multiplied by 56 is going to give you how much? 56 multiplied by 8, that will give you 448, and then you will add this 7 which is in the numerator. So first you multiply the 8 with 56 and then you add the 7. So that's going to give you 455. So once you rename this into an improper fraction, that's going to be 455 over 8 minus, now let's change this also, that's going to be 4 4s are 16, 16 plus 1 is 17, so 17 over 4. Now if you look at it again, the denominators are not same, so to make them the same denominators we have to multiply this with some number too. So 4 multiply what will give you 8? 4 multiplied by 2 will give us 8. We cannot subtract unless the denominators are same. So this will give you 455 over 8 minus 34 over 8. Now that the denominators are same, we can subtract. How much do you think 455 minus 34 is going to give you? Now this is mental math. You have to do all these things quickly. So can you guess what is 455 minus 34? Yes, it's 421. So 421 over 8. Now, as you can see, this is not a proper fraction, right? This is an improper fraction. Now, if you remember, I taught you some steps to change them into proper mixed numbers. So we divide 481 by 4. So you cannot divide 4 by 8. So we divide 42. That will give us 40. So bring down the 1. So this will give us 5 2s are 16. You have to be very fast in doing, because if you lose time, too much time in doing this, you won't be able to do the other questions. So 21 minus 16 is 5. So how I want to write this in a mixed number form? 52 5 over 8. This is going to be your answer, 52 5 over 8. Now you can do one more thing. Now there's only a shortcut I'm showing you. Okay, all what you can do is, now if you don't understand these steps, you can just rewind the video a bit and watch again what we have done. Okay, now the one I'm going to teach you is a shortcut, but that's not always applicable, as sometimes if the denominators are if the numerators are small, we won't be able to do this way. But this is just, if you're smart enough, you will understand. Okay, now first let me subtract the fractions. So 7 over 8 minus 1 over 4. As you can see, still I cannot subtract both of them, right? Because both the denominators are same. So to make them the same, I'm just going to multiply this with 2. So that will give me 7 over 8 minus 2 over 8, which is going to be 5 over 8. Now by subtracting the fractions, I got 5 over 8. So 56 minus 4 will give me 52. 5 over 8. So basically the answer is same whether you do like that or you do like this, but this is the perfect way of doing it. You will never go wrong if you follow this way. In this way you will definitely go wrong if the numerator was smaller. For example, what if there was 1 here? 1 minus 2 you cannot do. So again you have to go back to the long way and do it. So this is only useful if the numerator of the first fraction is bigger. All right, hopefully that's clear. So let's move on to the next question. Heather finished the race in 58.4 seconds, which was 2.6 seconds less than her practice time. So she finished the race in 58.4, which was 2.6 seconds less than her practice time. So she has a practice time, but she finished it 2.6 less. So this is how you're going to write your equation. There was a practice time, less 2.6 was 58.4. So as you know, I mean, you can do this perfectly now. So 58.4 plus 2.6 will give you 61. In fact, it's 61.0, but we don't take the 0. So his practice time was 61 seconds. You can even do this mentally. 4 plus 6 will give you 10. So you put 2 down, carry 1. So 58 plus 1, 59 plus 2 will give you 61. You have to be very fast and quick enough to solve questions like that. Okay. Last question. The radius of Earth is 6,378.1 kilometer, which is 2,981.1 kilometer longer than the radius of Mars. So by reading the first question, what do you understand? The radius of Earth is this much, and which is longer than the radius of Mars. So of course, Earth's radius is longer than Mars. Write and solve an equation to determine the radius of Mars. So of course, you know that the radius of Mars has to be shorter, right? So let's write the equation like this. Radius, that's why I took R, plus 2,981.1 should give you 6,378.1. This is the radius of the Earth. So to this plus the radius is equal to the Earth's radius. This radius is of the Mars. So as you know, you have to just subtract it. So that's going to be, if you subtract, you will get 3,399. So this 97 is going to be 7 here. Here I have written the correct answer, but I don't know how the 7 became 9 here. So the radius of Mars is 3,397 kilometers. Again, I'm repeating, sometimes you might get confused. Here they said the radius of Earth is 6,378.1, which is 2,981.1 kilometer longer than the radius of Mars. So the radius of Mars is something plus 2,981.1 is equal to 6,378.1. So to find it out, you do the opposite. So if you do, you will get 3,397 is going to be 7. All right. So hopefully most of you have got all the answers right. Really well done, because that was a lot of questions. So keep practicing and keep learning something new always. So till we meet next time again, keep practicing and keep loving now.